chat about the funds. Basically what he does is when he comes here, we look at all the reports, we look at all the percentages, we look at all the money, we look at all the revenues, we look at how I've entered things in, and obviously make alterations to that. So again, you will see that some of these are large, but we are heading into July. So we should be over, I would say about, 60 to 70% is the percentages that you guys should be looking at, or that you should be seeing. So again, most of these are under, some of them are over, but those are the things that we're going to have to probably reevaluate. But we are sitting at 102%. But again, like in our commission meetings and every meeting that we've had, that 100%, there are a lot that are kind of year-to-date expenditures at 100%. Those ones we can't control unless we get the authorization from the state to do so. The streets look pretty good. We are way below budget, which is great. We're at 16% on that.
Yep.
So we've been, again, like Rebecca always says, as finance chair, and I will say as fiscal officer, we definitely are making sure that expenditures that we are using the bare minimum of everything. So the only thing that, and again, finance will know this more than what I think the other council members will see, is that the only thing that we're really spending out of the street stuff is like flat tires, on our street equipment. So that's really the only thing that we're spending on. So yeah, let everybody know we're kind of halfway through our meeting. We just got the YouTube started. We are probably sitting at almost 20 minutes into it. So everybody that's hearing us on YouTube right now, we're in the middle of our physical officer talking about the reports. Again, I'll have the minutes available for everybody for the beginning of the meeting. So I know it's just live now. So streets, again, that's pretty good. We're definitely under budget on that. Okay, so the water is another thing. We are looking good even after the loans have been paid. We're at 43%. So again, at this point, we really should be at 60%, 60 to 65% to 70. We are doing really good on that. So I do want to make point of that because, again, that just shows that, finance is obviously looking at each item, making sure that it should be spent or it should not be spent. The sewer, we're, again, below budget on that as well. So I think we're doing pretty good on that. I really do. I feel pretty confident on those expenditure items. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
I'll put you on that.
Okay. The payment listings. These were approved on July the 10th. Or, I'm sorry, July the 9th, our last council meeting. Again, you'll see Buckeye State Pipe and Supply. Those were for the repairs of the hydrants. That was no surprise to, I think, finance or the council members because we talked about that in our work session. Again, we're cutting down on what we're getting from Napa as well as from what is on RAPS. Again, only spending what we need to, and I feel pretty confident on that. The American Electric Power, always a big ticket item that you guys are always going to see. Again, I'm meeting with Tim Ray from Ohio Rural Water Association. He's the one that did the analysis on both the water plants and the sewer plant. He has some key ideas on how to, again, reduce some of those electrical costs.
Good.
So he has expertise in, he is a licensed water operator as well. So there are some, I think, some things that we can do down there that can help, but again, it takes time. We're not going to see any rate changes until next year like we voted upon, a couple months ago. Mass Eye is another one for our testing. And again, quality logo products, again, those were items that were already pre-approved from the Parks and Recs committee as well as the finance committee for our festival stuff for Parks and Rec. But that's it. I mean, is there any... The Marvin Curtis thing, again, that was a Park and Rec thing. He had replaced something that was on the shelter house that needed to be repaired. But again, this is all pre-approval. You guys will see it after the fact because the committee approved that. Okay, so the receipt listing. again, like Misty said, and I kind of want to reiterate on that, is there's a lot of, it's higher than what we've actually budgeted for revenue. So I'm happy to report a lot of these that you'll see is Village of Mount Sterling. Those are the water and sewer payments. Again, I think that's helped with enforcement of our ordinance, and everybody kind of being aware of, you know, when bills are due, you know, that Billy and I and Misty and all the guys were out researching, you know, places to make sure that people are being billed correctly and are being billed, period. So that helps a lot. We have Rita on here. Is there any questions? Okay. And cash summary. Okay, so we have the general at a negative 1,000 or 190,000. Again, last meeting it was around 170,000, but again I had to submit those bills that they approved on the 9th. So that's why you'll see an increase there. But everything looks good. I mean, I know we talk about the big ones. The water, that has gone up. We were sitting at 173,000. After the loans, we were at 209. Mm-hmm. So again, it can only go up from here, is what we're hoping. Sewer, same thing. Any questions on that? Okay. The revenue status that you guys are showing, and this is one of your new reports. I just kind of like to let you guys see what was budgeted. A lot of these that you'll see, and the state auditors will also tell you, as we did at our commission meeting, that we are, I want to say, above budget. But what we've kind of budgeted for last year is we are hoping to gain more. So a lot of these that you'll see year to date are above the 100%, which is really good. You should be seeing 100% in December. So a lot of these, again, with the fact that we didn't have kind of true numbers to compare that to, because when you do a budget, you have to budget it from previous year's expenses, revenues, POs, and that sort of thing. So I'm happy with this, that we're headed in the right direction. Any questions on that? Okay. Last but not least, you have your Rita report. And this would have been reconciled to our account on July the 13th. And it shows it's being reconciled for the amount of $3,081.58. Again, we get paid twice a month. So this is the second half of the month. Again, we continue to receive, if residents haven't already, I've gotten a few calls about delinquent tax bills that people have not paid, that are either still currently living here, used to live here, or lived here years ago. So I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that I am getting some of that feedback, and I'm hoping to see some of those getting paid. Okay, any questions?
Hey, Courtney, has Rita sent out her letters to the ones that's been delinquent?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. I'm getting some of those. I'm getting responses from residents that are still having questions about that. They didn't know, and a lot of them, they didn't know. A lot of them are actually calling me because they are getting delinquent bills because they have a Mount Sterling address, but they don't live within the village. So a lot of that, you know, what they're getting is some of those questions. But then you got a lot of people that used to live here that don't live here any longer. You have a lot of contractors that have come in here and never filed with, you know, town hall, and we wouldn't know unless, you know, we were aware of it. So. Okay. Okay, so what you guys have in front of you is the invoice for the Morrison Excavating. Again, what I like to see, because again, this is part of the transparency that I like to see happen, is you as council as a whole will see these invoices like you guys have been. So, you know, in the past, those resolutions, we've always said, hey, this capital improvement for this amount of money for this has been paid. So just to let you guys know, I would like to have a motion to accept this so I can submit payment for this. And then next council meeting, you guys will actually see a resolution in front of you with the full amount, with the full amount, and letting you know that it's going to be coming out of that capital improvement fund. So I would like to have a motion for this invoice.
I'll make a motion for the payment of this invoice out of the capital improvement funds for Morrison Excavating for $3,230. And that is part of the bid that we approved
Yep.
by Morrison Excavating for the pothole repair. This is not anything additional. It will be part of it. It's just to make sure everyone stays informed.
Yep.
So I've made that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Vote?
Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
And Becky?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Any questions on anything that I reported or have any concerns? Okay.
Done?
Yep. I just need to motion my reports. I need you to motion.
Okay. Before you have a appropriation status report. I need a motion to accept that, to approve that.
You have that motion?
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Hold on, sorry. Can't write that fast. Okay. Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
And Becky?
Yes.
Thank you. Before you have a payment listing report. I need a motion to approve the payment listing report you have in front of you.
I'll make it.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
And Becky?
Yes.
Thank you. Before you have a receipt listing report, I'd like a motion to approve the receipt listing report in front of you.
You have that motion, sir?
Thank you. Second.
I'll
Thank
second.
you. Vote.
Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
And Becky?
Yes.
Before you have a cash summary by fund report. I need a motion to approve the cash summary by funds report, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Thank you. Before you have a revenue status report, I need a motion to approve the revenue status report.
You have that motion, sir?
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
And I need a motion to report the reader report in front of you. You just got.
Yes.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Before we start into committee reports, several weeks ago, at several of our, that's fine, I like that. I told you that we're short on help. We need a maintenance mechanic, qualified maintenance mechanic person. We have issues down there right now that if we don't have somebody to work on them, we're going to have to load them up on a trailer and take them to Columbus or something. I don't know how they repair them. I've taken applications, I did interviews between Courtney and I and a gentleman by the name of Todd Wilkerson, lives in Washington Courthouse. He's a mechanic. And I know him. He's did work for me for some time. Working out how we're going to pay him, that'll come later. But I need a mechanic hired because when one of my guys goes regularly to the VA or somebody takes off sick, we're absolutely short-handed. We're restricted on almost any emergency that would come up. So I'm going to recommend that we hire a mechanical maintenance man, Todd Wilkerson. And I need a motion to hire Todd. Okay.
I'm personally, without seeing any, every decision that we make financially and stuff for the village, we take very seriously, and this is the first time I personally have heard about this. I don't feel comfortable without seeing like credentials. I know you said that the financial part will be determined later, but I would think any potential employee would want to know what type of payment, are we talking benefits and things like that? I think that there's things that maybe should have been brought to a committee, to make a recommendation to council or something so that we could discuss it.
What committee?
Streets?
Would you want me
You're
to
talking,
come to?
you're talking maintenance, vehicle,
Yeah.
but that's just my opinion. I don't feel comfortable when this is the first I have heard of it.
The first you heard of me hiring, of us wanting to hire somebody?
No, the first of a name of a particular person that you wish to hire.
Well, so what do you want to see the resumes, or do you want to interview them,
Well,
or
let's
what?
see how anybody else feels.
I feel that it was just brought up at the work session. No details, nothing was discussed except for placing an ad.
That happens
asked
that
if
happens
we
a
have to-
lot at our work sessions.
Yeah, and I asked
And I'm trying to
if
change
we have to
that
make a
right now.
position first. If it's a mechanic, that position does not exist.
That's right.
We have to take that, and that position has to be.
We don't have.
Right
that
now,
position.
I'm not prepared to
We don't
vote.
have a position for a mechanic.
No.
What would his title be?
That's,
Well, again, you would have to
It has to
change
be
that structure.
discussed.
You'll have to change your strength ordinance as well.
yes.
The title that we have now available.
You have street utilities, and public service worker.
Public service worker.
How many candidates did we have for it altogether?
I never did any interviewing, but I have like maybe 4 resumes that were
4
submitted.
resumes, and I talked to each of them.
I know what the mayor does. The mayor definitely is right about one thing. We definitely cannot keep sending stuff out because that's going to get more expensive. But I know that point of it too. So in the situation, but I don't know how everybody else feels. I just want,
I know that bringing a new person in, only council has the authority. Am I correct?
Pardon?
Am I correct that the council is the only one that has the authority to hire?
Council has to approve any
Exactly.
hiring,
Yes, ma'am.
firing, terminations, anything like that.
Yes, ma'am.
We're the financial authority.
Yeah, and with us being under physical emergency, how we can possibly bring somebody else when we're trying to cut money?
Well, I think we've already determined the need for another worker because so much has been, but so I don't think, we already approved the running of the ad for another worker. That's not to me, that's not in question.
Well, okay.
But we don't have the position, we had talked about the strength ordinance and needing to create a position for it, as well as,
The pay or the package.
we have not determined
See,
that
that's my
type of thing,
concern
which
with-
would have an impact on, of course, the street fund or, how the monies may be allocated, that type of thing.
Right.
I know in the past too, we've always had the people come in and let us interview them ourselves too. So I just wonder what situation we're going to do on that part.
Well,
too.
that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
right, exactly. So we got.
And if Courtney, as the person that helps with the workload, also hasn't had a chance to talk with the different people, I don't know if that would normally be part of it, but I think that we just all need, to me, kind of like the clarity on the exact direction without holding things up. I would not want to drag this on, but we would need to have the right legislation in place for the position and not put the cart before the horse and things like that.
Well, I've been short on help for 2 or 3 months. So what am I expecting from you people to get me a person hired? a mechanic hired. What's the next step? What do you want me to do? I advertised, I got resumes, I talked to them. What do you want me to do? It's fine that we all sit here and talk in these meetings, but I have this community to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And trust me, it's not easy with 2 guys, and sometimes 1 guy, and sometimes she gets sick. We've talked about this for 2 or 3 months of putting another person on. So please tell me what you want me to do. And no, we're not bringing people in here and interviewing them right here in front of the public. I'll do the interview.
We have never done that, Billy. We did that under, it was like an executive session when we would bring candidates in. It was never in front of the public because that's confidential
we're not
information.
doing an executive session either. I can do an interview, and I can recommend, but so what do you want me to do to get this guy hired?
I think personally, what I would like to see is that I'd want to see the person's resume as a council member of someone we may be hiring. I think we need to have a strength chart modification and make sure legislation for a position is in place. Plus, I would like to already have something in mind as to a figure that we may pay them. Are we offering benefits? Those things are...
Why wouldn't we offer benefits? We offer the other 2 guys benefits.
These are all things that we have not decided, Billy.
You have not decided.
On, have we?
We have not. There is not.
Why would you... See, now we're starting to treat this new hire differently.
We had not made up our minds on that.
No, but you questioned me about it.
We had not made up our minds if it was going to be part-time, full-time.
Yes, we have. It's going to be full-time.
Well, that was the first I've heard of that too, but
it's going to be full-time.
I think that we are very close to hiring the right person. I just don't think this is just to pull it out without any information. We always talk about how key communication and transparency is.
Yeah.
To blindly pull something and present it at a council meeting to us when, to me, it sounds like not everything has been decided yet, is the timing is that this is just not right. It's not a lack of communication, a lack of transparency if we don't know who the person is.
I know where you're coming from. Now, what do you people want from me? Do you want the strength ordinance changed? Do you want the resume at a committee? By all means, tell me.
The major first step would be to bring it before the committee, then the
Bring the
committee make recommendations.
Yeah, I agree with that, Bill. If we could do that, Rick, that'd be fine for me.
Bring the resume or resumes?
Pro temp?
Pro temp, what do you think, pro temp?
And also, Courtney, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what, I mean, if the whole scheme of things is that you guys want to review what the resumes are, like I said, there's 3 or 4 of them that I have. I mean, you guys as council, just let me know what I need to do, because I can bring them all.
Well, before the resumes, I feel we need, like Rebecca said, first we got to talk full, temporary, part-time, whatever.
We never
the
did
pay
make a
scale,
decision on
everything.
that.
Nothing was mentioned.
No, we never made a decision on that. And I would like to do that ASAP so we can get someone hired. I don't want to delay the process, but I want to do this where I feel comfortable that not only the best candidate, but that we're doing things by the book and that we have everything thought out before especially from a finance standpoint.
But I understand the mayor's point of view too. I can understand his side too, because when you have equipment breakdown and you got to haul away, it's going to cost more money too. So I could.
What I'd like to try to is get something scheduled this week so we can act upon this pretty quickly, because I don't want it to drag out either. I know how hard everyone's been working.
Exactly.
So we'll have a committee meeting this week, and what
Yeah.
do you want us to bring to that committee meeting?
I'd like
All
to.
the resumes?
I think that
I sign. I think yeah.
We can do that.
So when would you guys like to schedule that?
Okay, you said that, let's see, we have meetings on Wednesday, is that correct? Nuisance and abatement, what time is that?
3:30.
How about, now how does Thursday morning work for people?
Works good for
fine.
me.
How
How about you, Lowell?
I'm at the state fair from now until August the 5th.
What's your availability?
It would be after 4 o'clock. Any day after 4 o'clock. because I'm at the state fair from 6:30 a.m. until 3:30 and 4 o'clock. I have to have time to get home.
Yeah, you do. So what time do you get back here? About 5-ish or so?
Depends on the day, and I would schedule to be here as early as I can. I don't get out of the fair until 3:30 p.m.
So it takes you time to get
Whatever the
home.
traffic is what's going to,
Would you be, would it be okay to send minutes or something from that committee meeting?
that's fine, but you can't count on me to be here.
Okay.
So
What
What time are you
Thursday?
talking Thursday? Because I do work.
what time, you open up at 8?
I work 8 to 2, but if it's a certain time of the day, if it's going to be a short meeting, I can run over. I mean, I just need to know.
How about 2 o'clock on Thursday?
Don't we have a meeting at
2:30.
2:30?
2:30.
Will it be over by 2:30?
And which one's 2:30?
I have a meeting with the county commissioners and
Mm-hmm.
you want to do 1:30? I could leave potentially early.
1:30 works for me.
1:30 then?
On Thursday?
And is this a work session for street?
Okay.
Yeah, why don't we do a work session so everybody who would like to attend.
Very good. Hopefully we'll get something accomplished.
I would like to as soon as possible, Billy. I know the urgency for it.
I know you do. I understand where you're coming from. But
Streets.
you have to understand my frustration.
Oh, I do.
I've been waiting for this guy or a guy
Or girl?
or a girl. I have a community to run here. And we're running it with volunteers and my office help doing this and that. And there's no call for that. We used to operate with 6. Nobody had a problem paying 6. But now we got a problem paying 3, or the other guy. So that's the way I look at it. I want to get a mechanic hired that'll take care of everything that this town owns. A lot of pieces of equipment has to be serviced and repaired. I need a guy on board. Yes, ma'am.
I have a request to keep the meeting like within a time frame. Could we
1 hour.
we have our suggestions prepared, like the package you're interested in offering him? Could you have that prepared for us to review or to modify?
That would be easy to do.
Yep.
Okay, so we're not just starting from square one. So we have.
Fine with me.
Everybody
Okay.
have a expectation to prepare something to present.
Yeah. Okay.
But that would be short and sweet. You know, we got 2 guys, now we got 3 guys. Or it's a package deal, we treat them all the same. We're not gonna get into that singling people out because they like this guy or they don't like that guy, like we've done in the past. We've done a lot, that's happened a lot in the past. Well, you've all corrected the problems when you put money away for people. We're not getting into that habit again.
Not at all.
Treating everybody the same. Now, that brings us to finance. Rebecca Burns.
Okay. Well, obviously, we've been continuing to review all the POs, really keeping a close eye on all expenses. We're taking everything just very seriously, and we are going to be planning a finance committee meeting. When is that going to be, Courtney? This Thursday?
This Thursday.
Is that going to work for you with Jim coming in?
Well, Thursday at 1:30, I mean, it's going to have to work because we just scheduled the 1:30 meeting, so
Okay,
I can step away.
okay, at 3:30?
So finance is at 3:30?
Mm-hmm. And that'll be just a committee meeting to touch base on some different things, but really, I think everything else we've already covered with the reports. And that's it.
Did you just make a meeting for Thursday finance?
Finance
A
at
committee
3:30.
meeting.
Huh?
Committee.
At 3:30.
All committee meeting?
Yeah, not a work session, a committee meeting.
Okay. That brings us to, I'm sorry, are you finished?
I'm finished.
That takes us to Pleasant Township. Becky Martin.
They're just out mowing grass and stuff. Everything's
Mowing
cool
grass.
in the township.
Everyone's
Yep.
mowing.
I know the feeling.
That's it.
All right, thank you. Squad, Mr.
Squad
Anderson.
meets August the 8th. They will not meet again until August the 8th.
Very good. Fire, Tom Ward.
Fire committee meeting is Thursday night at 8 p.m. at the fire department. We haven't had it yet.
Very good. That takes us to water, wastewater, Rebecca.
Okay, I think we've already touched base on a lot of the different things. Of course, we have had some work sessions lately, but what that had to do with, we know how critical the pothole repair is. So of course, we know that Morrison Excavating started that last week. We feel confident they're going to do a great job, and hopefully all the problems around the village. I believe it was a 2-week completion. So within 2 weeks, our pothole problem hopefully will be gone. You'll also see some upcoming legislation where we're talking about working with an engineering company. Our last meeting, in fact, had to do with the selection of an engineering company. There's potentials of grants and things like that. We feel that would be a great assistance, but you'll see that in some upcoming legislation here this evening. And of course, now we have a work session coming up because, as I said, the amount of work that Courtney and the mayor do, along with the 2 village workers that we have, whether it's mowing grass or anything, we know we're extremely shorthanded, and it's just everyone's effort is really appreciated. And that's it.
So you included streets in your water and wastewater report, right?
I sure did.
And you're absolutely right on with 2 weeks, but they got chased out with the weather. Of course, that's going to be a factor, putting blacktop down. So she's right when she said 2-week completion, but tending the weather.
Allowing for the weather.
Allows us to. So
Yeah, I put those both in.
I know everybody's anxious. We got a phone call today about a pothole, and I just tell them, we'll get to it as soon as we can. Jake and those guys are working as quick as they can to do us a good job. Parks and Rec, Rebecca.
Okay, we had a committee meeting last Wednesday. Of course, several topics of discussion. Mason Park, the payment that was referred to earlier is that we had the door at the concession stand replaced with a nice solid steel one that is not going to, there was tampering you could see done with the old door. And so this one will make it a lot sturdier and harder to break into. We talked about maybe getting another load of the ball field mix. We got a really good deal on the last load because Jack's just really doing a great job keeping the fields looking really good. We talked about the potential of having a tournament out there, about what we might do with overflow parking. But the thing that we're also working hard on is trying to get our movie night scheduled. And tentatively, we are looking at this Saturday.
This coming Saturday, you said,
Tentatively.
Rebecca?
Is that too soon?
Was that a question to Jackie, or?
Yeah, we really were hoping to have it, but when you're dealing with a licensing company and a few other things, everything just seems to take a little bit of time. I think my suggestion is look at the website or look on Facebook, and if we can announce something, we will. Will probably be the best way to say that.
Yeah, I'm doing everything possible.
Oh, you're doing a great job with it all.
For this weekend. But like I said, dealing with this movie licensing company, Swank Motion Pictures.
It's not easy, yeah.
And I just got the quote today. Licensing for one movie, it's pretty expensive, but she offered me a deal for 3 movies, which that's going to be up to my park committee whether to say that's better.
Did you get the screen?
It's getting ordered in the morning.
Okay.
So it'll only get a couple of days to be here.
Okay.
Hey Jack, since we don't have another Park and Rec meeting scheduled, before this event will happen, like how will we go about trying to determine if we should get this 3 for deal?
Let's do it with the entire council and see what they think.
Like right now?
Yeah, if you want to read the
Yeah.
email to them.
Well, thank you for submitting an online request form. Licensing fees vary depending on your movie selection and crowd size. Licensing for most movies for a crowd less than 200 people ranges from $350 to $435. With Peter Rabbit will be a $395 licensing fee. We have found that consistency can help build more buzz and attract more people to your event. To help get you started, I'd love to extend the following discount package: 3 movies for $855, which is only $285 per movie. And then the rest is probably not important, but $285 versus $350 to $435 to me personally sounds like an excellent deal, because originally when we did talk about these movies, we did plan on 3 for the summer, and I know a couple of those have gotten away from us, but there's still time probably to get some fun movies showing in before the weather gets too cold.
I think we get 3 movies in before the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
And no problem.
August and September movies would
We can
be,
get one in October.
yeah.
I mean, it's still pretty nice in October.
I personally would be up for the 3 movies for $855, because the committee did originally approve 3 movies throughout the summer, and we expected to pay for those individually, and this is a better deal. So that is my recommendation, that we do accept the 3 for $855.
Are you making a motion?
I will make a motion that we do accept the offer for 3 movies for $855.
And I'll second it.
Okay, hold on.
Discussion?
Do we have it in the budget? Where's the?
Yeah, I was going to say,
My question.
right now, if you look at the reports that were distributed, what we spent so far this year in Parks and Rec is 53.23% of the total budget. And, you know, that's as of, I think, July 19th. So that's over 6 months, and it should be around 50%. I think we're right on target. And most of our expenditures already have been spent, because it was getting Mason Park ready for the youth league to play on and stuff. So a lot of those had to do with really Mason Park. We're now slowing down as far as the expenditures for Parks and Rec, plus of Jack's time. So I think that we're going to come in well under budget for the year.
I projected about 65% for the year.
Yeah, and so that would include this licensing for the 3 movies.
Now, are these licensing fees are like for different types of movies, let's say like for a Disney movie, and maybe
Well, you have a list, they give you a book you go through. Like this one, I asked for the licensing fee for Peter Rabbit.
okay.
I watched the trailer on it, it's funny, the kids will love it, so,
Is it included in the 3 packages you're talking about?
well, this is not a written in stone, so I can change the Peter Rabbit,
Okay,
but it'll be 3 movies
Okay.
for that price.
okay.
Okay.
Discussion?
You will hold it at park,
We're gonna hold it right out here.
at the fence.
Gazebo.
Oh,
At the
across.
gazebo.
We want people to see it, to see us, to stop, get out of their car, come watch some movie and eat some popcorn and.
Everybody good? Vote? Do you need to vote?
Yep.
Yeah, I need to vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
I'll
David?
vote yes for Peter Rabbit.
It is a good movie. Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
There you go. It's
All
set.
yeses. Yep.
And I would like to make a quick note that the American Legion donated $500 to buy a 200-inch screen for me to show movies.
That's awesome.
So, thank you to the American Legion.
I'll tell them.
They're truly amazing group. They
Yes.
always give and keep giving.
You're welcome.
That's a good point.
Now, if you have a rain date,
On the movie dates, if we have a rain date, you just send it back, tell them, say, hey, I got rained out. They'll reissue it at a later time for you. So we won't
You said the screen, how big is the screen?
200 inches, which is very huge.
And it comes with the movies?
Now, the movies come with the license.
Oh, okay, but the screen,
Screen will be the villages.
we don't have that?
No, all the equipment used to show the movie is going to be either loaned, which is the sound system, and the screen, which the village owns. So we won't have to rent any of that equipment. Normally, most places like Grove City have to rent that stuff. With the licensing, all you get is the movie and the license to show. Any other
Okay,
questions?
record of retention, Mr. Anderson,
Nothing to report on that?
nothing to report. Oh, here's a hot one.
What?
Nuisance and abatement,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Sickle. We're waiting on your report.
Okay. Our next meeting will be this Wednesday, the 25th, at 3:30. Courtney and I went out today, found just within about an hour and a half, 34 violations.
Wow.
Just porches, grass, old cars.
I would have traded you all day long today.
I bet you would have. We feel, I'm not trying to sound mean, but we've let it go long enough.
You're
People's
sounding
had-
firm.
People's had enough warnings. We've
Right.
sent out tags. People's been tagged. Now it's time for face the consequences.
You've been fair, now you're being firm.
Right, so we will,
Very good.
we will be starting, I'm gonna talk to the committee at our committee meeting, and we will be starting to press charges,
Very
and they will
good.
face the courts and charges and fines. We've tried to talk to some, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people have. They've cleaned up, they've worked hard, or they're in the process. But a lot of them just laugh at us. So we're gonna start buckling down and be, like Billy says, we're gonna be firm, not mean, but. So our next meeting's the 25th at 3:30, and I'll report later how this all goes.
So those fines that are implemented, the fines they get from the tickets, do those come back to the town at
We
all?
get a certain percentage, am I right, Mark?
From the sheriff's office?
From the courts, we get a small percentage of it.
Not that we're in the money-making business, but yes, a certain percentage will come back to us, yes. And this committee, one person in this committee that I see a lot is doing a very good job. We told you months ago that this committee was not going away, that we were here to stay. And she told me this, we're going to be fair and we're going to be firm. Well, she's turned the corner now. She's going to be firm with people. You're going to have to clean your act up, people. Trust me, this lady is going to tag you and take you to court if you don't. Now, that's a fact. And hopefully the other two members on that committee will help her start this process and we can get this town cleaned up a little bit. Proud people don't litter. They don't.
But I would like to thank the sheriff's office for all their help.
I agree.
Courtney, Mark, and even you, Billy, because I'm going to be putting you to work.
Okay. Whatever. Thank you. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Block watch, Mr. Ward.
Well, we had our meeting on July the 19th, and we discussed a whole lot of items. We're getting more people signed up, so we'll have to put together a new sheet, a contact sheet for everybody, and I'll get it all done for everybody. And we had some very, very good discussions on a whole lot of things. Everything's, we're out there walking and we're watching. And the Sheriff's Department's been notified already of some of the things that we've been watching, and we've noticed, and so I want the villagers to know that we're out there and we are watching. We're not going to tell you who we are, We're not going to tell you where we
I'm
are,
gonna ask you.
but we're going to watch.
Very good.
And so we go, well, we're trying to make plans for Halloween now, because even though it's not it's going to be off for a while, we want to make plans because we want our block watch members out there walking and making those streets safe for the children.
Very good.
So that's the main thing. Slow that traffic down and keep an eye out for the kids.
Very good.
That's all, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. Festival. Which festival?
Well, the festival's done now, but I gotta say this.
Next year's?
Yeah, we'll see what happens
Next year?
Yeah, but I gotta say, we got some nice emails that John and I did for the Rock and Roll Trivia Show, and also on the car show. Some of the car show people came over, and it was just good though, and everything, and it was a good thing to have. It was just hot, but it's over for the year now.
All right.
So
We'll
I'm
look
doing
forward
it,
to-
Mark, now, say
we'll
no
look forward to
report.
next year's.
Isn't there a festival meeting coming up?
Pardon?
Isn't there a festival meeting coming up here
Yeah, we're going
soon?
for the reviewer, but
Right.
they haven't set a date on it yet, so.
Thursday.
It's Thursday, I thought.
Yeah, you're correct, yeah.
Thursday at 6.
Everything's Thursday, it seems like.
At 6.
7:26 at 6. A final
The
meeting.
festival. It's the festival in review,
Okay.
to look back.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Now, that leads us into, goodness gracious, ordinances and resolutions. And I need to explain something to the public. I'm not big on, and I never have been when I was on council before, I'm not big on suspending the rules, passing ordinances or resolutions on 3 readings. But that's not necessarily our idea or our necessity. A lot of the ordinances or resolutions that we've went through, they come from the state auditor's office. We're not following this procedure to shortchange the public by any means. For instance, tonight, we need an engineering firm on board because we have 2 home developers in the building today that want to start on homes, and we don't have an engineering firm on. So rather than have her drag this out for 6 weeks, we're gonna do it tonight. And I apologize to the public for having to do this, but it's not always our choice. Like she said, the state auditor's making his weekly visit, and he makes recommendations to us. And he expects those recommendations to be followed, which we've been doing. We've all been doing a great job. They think that of us. So with that said, I have a resolution, 2018-40, and this resolution will allow me to enter into an agreement with Environmental Engineering Services for the purpose of providing engineering services, and I'm declaring this an emergency. I need a motion to suspend the rules on Resolution 2018-40.
You have that motion?
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
And Becky?
Yes.
Now I need a... Yes. I need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings tonight.
You got that motion?
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote?
Yes?
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky? Yes.
Thank you. Now, I need a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-40.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about this before we do a roll call vote?
You know, Mr. Mayor, to me, though, we need this exactly for, if we're going to grow, we got to go forward. And I agree with you 100%. We can't mess around. We got to go.
Yes. Anybody else?
I need to point out one thing. on this does not include their costs to us yet.
No. That will vary.
Chart.
That will
So-
vary.
So whenever they prepare something, we will see their costs involving it.
Yes.
Right now, we're just putting in place an engineering firm.
Yes, yes. And of course, it would determine, the cost would be determined by the size of the project. So, and you'll get all those figures. She will, finance will, as soon as those proposals are made. So now, I got first and a second for a motion to adopt. I need a roll call vote.
Lowell,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Environmental engineering is your engineering service now. Resolution 2018-41. This is a resolution authorizing me to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Fund or Local Transportation Improvement Program, and to execute such contract as required as an emergency.
Can I talk to that?
Yes, you can. I was going to ask you, do you want to comment about that?
Okay, so I had sent you guys all an email, and basically it was a result of our work session that we would be, and this is to get grants. So again, in some of these work sessions, of course, in the minutes, it talked about how we need to start taking advantage of grants. In doing so, you have to submit an application. It's not guaranteed that you're ever going to get that money tomorrow. Obviously, applying for a grant takes, several months or a year to even get those grants. So with this application that you guys had been submitted, I had submitted to you, as well as an email explaining the process, is basically that we are going to be completing this application, and I would be submitting it, asking for a grant for anything that we may need within our community. We have not gotten a grant recently through this program. This is something that the county is offering, that I'm working with our county representative to say we should apply for it, because it's not something that we can get today or even at the end of this year. But it puts you in that pool where when the money is given, because again, the state only gets a certain amount of funds every year. And since we haven't received any, it's more than likely that we're hoping that we can get that soon. So that will go on to repairs, like for capital improvement, issues that we have that we're seeing out here on our roads. So this is hopefully just an application. But again, if there's anything that's ever going to be granted or ever going to be spent, council will be the first one to make that recommendation and to, again, voice your vote.
Basically, then just get the process rolling.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to apply for an application. You guys received a copy of that blank application, as well as an explanation of why I feel that we need to do something to get money. But this would be for anything. So it'd be a broad range, because on that application it asks for streets, water, sewer. Again, this is not a particular project. It's not saying we're going to spend the money or anything. It's actually an application to apply for the money.
Okay. Discussion. Does everybody understand what we're doing? We're applying for an application first here. I need a motion to suspend rules for 2018-41. Resolution.
Have that motion.
Okay.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second it.
Becky?
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell?
Yes?
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
I need a motion to place this on the first, second, third reading tonight. Thank you, Mr. A. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell?
Yes?
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
I need a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-41.
You have that motion, sir.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Yes. Roll call.
Lowell?
Yes?
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Roundtable.
Oh, I gotta bring this up. I was mowing the lawn today, and And one person said, you're a dedicated councilman with lawnmower and you're talking all the time. I said, I'll go for both of them. And so, and also, I got, they was talking about the Mount Sterling Museum, and I recommend everybody that's never been to the Mount Sterling Museum, take a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday when it's open. The stuff you're going to see there is very historical to our village, and just take time, and it's something our little town has. I don't think enough people take advantage to look at. And I'm there on Fridays myself, and if you just take your time, there's a lot of historical facts and stuff, and just give it a look one day.
Very good. Anybody else?
I'd like to take a minute and wish Billy a happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
I would have turned your mic off. Very much. Anybody else?
Yes,
Oh, dear.
Lowell's going to be having his birthday on
Oh, that's right.
the 26th,
His surprise
I'm not gonna
birthday
say your
party.
age.
Don't tell.
but
Lowell's going to have his surprise birthday party. I was told. Well, he knew
no,
about
he
it.
already
before.
had it.
He already
He
had it.
Saturday.
I didn't get invited.
We weren't invited.
I wasn't invited.
I saw it on Facebook.
But happy birthday to you on the 26th.
Thank you very much. It was never a surprise because the family said they never could surprise me on anything, and this wouldn't be any exception. The ladies of the house took care of contacting through Facebook, the community. There were over 150 there.
Very good.
Bill, you did know about it. I told you about it the other day.
Yeah, but someone else told me about it and said, "Don't tell Lowell, it's a secret."
Yeah. I told you it wasn't. I know. I recognized your response. So.
All right.
Well, Bill, how's the fellow be 35, though?
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to get queued up here? Nobody? Your turn out there. Anybody out there? You go right ahead. Stand up.
It's just a free-for-all.
Yes, it is.
My name's Kevin White. I'm at 230 Rosewood Avenue, kind of kitty corner to Dave's house. I had 2 gripes tonight, or complaints, I should say.
Go right ahead.
One was a pothole, but we all addressed all that just a little bit ago.
Yep.
That one at New Street and Jefferson, right in the middle of that intersection.
It is. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
I know.
The other one, I really would like to know when we're going to look at getting a grocery store put back in this town. And what needs to
We've
be
worked.
done to get one?
Bill and I have worked on this for over 2 years, and the closer we get, the farther away it goes.
Kevin,
Why is that?
I don't know.
we
If
have.
you need help, I'll help, man. I said, if y'all need extra help, I'll help.
No, it's
It's
not
not
that.
the help.
It's not that.
It's just.
Along with Rebecca and Steve Cooper, we've been trying for probably 4 years.
At least
About 4 years.
At least
4
4
years.
years. But
We've
it's
contacted every agency, state, federal government. The Mrs. Obama had a out in the country with no, what was that program called?
we're considered a food desert for one
Food
thing,
desert.
and so there was some money available, but it's not really a village I mean, obviously it's a village function where you care about getting a grocery in here, but from a chamber standpoint, we even paid $3,500 to get something called a feasibility study done, which is the first step, so that any potential investor, and that's what it usually is a private investor that wants to step forward to open it up, the first thing that they would need for any capitalization would be this feasibility study. So the chamber paid $3,500 to pay for it. So that's a big, right there, it will be, here's something to start it, because there were some people that had expressed interest. And for one reason or another, each time there's been interest, that potential investor has made the decision to step away. And I tell you, we have continually, obviously we're all residents of this village, and it is so hard not having a grocery, and I know it's a big deterrent for families that are looking to move here too. So we are continual. I know that Billy was talking the other day to, I believe, Steve. Steve's the president of the local chamber here, about like going and talking to people that had expressed interest 4 or 5 years ago, to see because we know there's that new housing development, the extension of the Wingate. That's 47 new homes. You would think that a grocery store would see the potential new customer base. So there's things that we're talking about, trying to get that one person who has the knowledge, the finances, and everything, and the desire to open up. So we are continuing, like as a chamber and stuff, to do what we can to get that right investor in.
Like if I knew somebody, put in contact with them.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, that's what we're looking for, is that right person. Yeah, please, if there's a business card or anything.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
What?
Really?
Come on!
Well, good luck.
Meeting in every crowd.
That's just the rumor, right?
Yeah. We've been really close. We had a person recently interested in seriously opening up. Now there's issues with the guy that owns the property. We've had that to happen 2 or 3 times. It comes to, okay, what do you want for it? I'll take this much, and when it comes down to it, he won't take that much.
Well, he'll only want to
So-
get half of it.
Yeah,
So like he'll say, okay, you can have the front half of it to run your store, but I still need to
right.
have the back.
That offer
warehouse
was, that offer went
So
to
nobody wants
us.
to invest in something that is not going to be theirs, because at any time, they could pick up and leave it, you know, or leave
So
them.
it's not like, we're not thinking about it and we're not talking about it, the Chamber of Commerce, and Courtney talking, people coming in and talking about it. It's not that we're not, it's just that we just haven't found the right person at the right time, I guess, to open a grocery
But
store.
if you know anybody,
Yeah,
send them our
please.
way.
I'll be checking.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else?
Isn't there an event coming up at your church open?
Yes, CCU, that would be the 28th.
It's coming Saturday?
Yes, from noon until 4 o'clock.
It-
Games and food and.
It's an event for families or kids
Oh,
or?
yeah, everybody in town, if they want to come.
I saw flyers on it. It's a free event,
It's
isn't
a
it?
free event, just
Okay.
for your family.
I'll be there.
Enjoy the time.
Yeah. Food and fun and
like
games.
food and fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I encourage everyone to try to, and that's the church that's right here by the Dairy Freeze.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We're the Dairy Freeze people.
Okay.
That's what Ralph calls us. That's how he remembers what people go to what
No,
church.
I didn't know that.
Anybody else?
Do you have room?
Pardon?
Can I be able to close the street for them to do that?
Yeah, well, are you guys holding it in the church?
No,
Inside the church?
it'll be on the church property.
Property in the back mostly.
Oh, okay.
You have room
There'll
then?
be like hot dogs, chips, you know, candy.
No, we'll be good. It'll be good. We got plenty of room. Anybody else? We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Start talking food and I get them.
Didn't see my stomach start growling.
All that glass you better start munching, but
Smile away.
And what?
no,
Smile at the
all the grass we all been cutting.
At our house?
Posts out there.
My husband loves to mow grass. I don't know what to say. He loves to mow grass.
Shut this off real
I'm
quick.
gonna let right
Years ago, there was a
You want to ride home?
Oh, if you don't care.
the back.
We use the restroom.
Just love.
How was the president? Let me make sure it's shut off.
I didn't